Hello everybody, this is the Goofs and Fox coming at you with two matches here in the Jegan heavy equipment type, and this is the most recent banner suit of this week here, and yeah, it's been pretty fun to use. This first match here, this is going to be on Impact site. It is a quick match, and the next match is going to be a rated match on Supply Depot, so yep, that's the two matches I have for you all today. And yeah, the Jegan heavy equipment type. It is a 550 cost general, and it's actually been a lot of fun to use. For the most part, I've been able to do well with it. I only had a couple times where I haven't done the best with it, and even if I did lose a match a few times, I overall did fairly well in it, so it does seem like it is a pretty serviceable suit, so that's a pretty good sign for this one here. I'm already going to say, though, might not be one that a lot of people pull for because anniversary is coming up, so a lot of people might skip out on this suit, and in a way I don't blame them because this suit is kind of basic. It's very basic general aside from maybe a few of its parts of its kit and two of its skills. It does have two very nice skills going for it, but aside from that, it does feel like a pretty standard 550 general. Once I go over everything, yeah, you'll see that even the way I'm playing it, you don't have to play it with like the intended skills and everything in mind to really do well with it. You can play it like a standard general, and for the most part, it will play fairly well. But we'll jump right into it here. Starting off with your main range weapon, you got the Jegan beam rifle, and this is your only primary you can equip with this thing. And yeah, it's the Jegan beam rifle. I don't really have too much to say about it. You fire it, you get a stun, and yeah, pretty alright beam rifle overall. Not one of the best ones, but it does what it needs to do, and at the end, that's really what's important. For your melee, you have Blow Enhanced 2, and yeah, you have no saber with this suit. You are granted the ability to punch and kick things, and well, that is flawed in a way, because with this suit, you only have one swing. You do not have melee combat control of any kind, so yeah, you're not really going to be able to do much in terms of, totally epic melee combos, but the kick itself, which is, you got the gun cannon kick as your downswing, that right there, it does do some pretty decent damage, especially to a lot of its own suits. So, like, if you're doing it against generals or raids, it can get some pretty hefty damage in. So it's not exactly a useless thing to have, but I'm sure some people would probably prefer to this thing have a saber of some kind, mainly because, well, sabers typically, I think, do more damage and also have better reach. So overall, the melee is pretty alright. You got some head Vulcans as your first sub-weapon, and yeah, these are your pretty standard head Vulcans. You can get accumulation stun with them, but it does take most of the magazine, so I wouldn't say it's the most reliable thing when it comes to getting a stun. It can get you that stun, but you're much better off using one of your many other weapons for this suit. Actually, you do have one in particular that I'll get to that is really good for accumulation, which, yeah, you just saw me use it right there. That's the beam rifle discharge, but before we get to the discharge beam, we have to talk about the regular beam cannon. And yeah, the regular beam cannon is a single shot. You got 3 rounds in it. It is ammo based, and yeah, you can fire it while moving, and yeah, gets you an instant stun. Pretty standard weapon, kind of like the Jegan beam rifle. Basically, it's like a Jegan beam rifle, but I think it has a bit more range and maybe more damage. But yeah, it's a pretty nice weapon to have. Can do some hefty damage if you know what to hit, and again, the skills that this suit has really benefit into that more ranged play style, so there is that there. But onto the beam cannon discharge here, and yep, this is a stop to fire weapon, and what you do is that you fire both of your beam cannons. It fires it twice. It has 4 rounds, but it has to fire twice, so you do use all your ammo. You can cancel it to only fire 1 shot, but the flaw with that is you do need both shots to hit in order to get a stun. So yeah, there might be use for, canceling it, but for the most part, you really want to get both of those hits off so you can get a stun. and this is accumulation, so it can stop things that are boosting, which is very nice to have. You know, if a raid might be charging up at you or something, you can pop off both of those shots, and if they hit, yeah, that's going to stun that enemy real quick for you, and you can maybe follow up with a range attack, or maybe you can try to go in for your melee if you're feeling risky, but yeah, it does leave you open to some opportunities there. Next, you have the waste missiles, and how these operate, these are basically like the napalm that the Zissa use. You got 6 of them in the magazine, but it fires 2 at the same time, and yeah, you fire them, and they have a sort of like an area effect, where they'll do damage over time, and these things actually build up accumulation pretty quickly too, so if you do catch an enemy in them, yeah, you can stun them pretty quick, as well as do a pretty hefty amount of damage. The only real flaw about these is I think they actually have a smaller area of effect than the Zissa, but again, that's made up for the fact that I think this version does more damage, so yeah, it's a pretty nice sub-weapon to have. I think that's probably one of the suit's strongest aspects here, is probably those waste missiles, and again, it's because it really does benefit from the skills that this suit has that yeah, I'll just spoil it here. If you hit somebody who's knocked over with those missiles, yeah, you're gonna do way more damage. So, yeah, definitely really, really nice there. And your final sub-weapon that you have here is the, I think this is the, I'm not gonna call it the stealth grenade. I think they call it a smoke grenade, but, yeah, this is actually the same grenade that the Proto-Stark Jegan had. And what this does is that you throw it, doesn't do any damage of any kind because it's actually meant to help you and your teammates. And what it does is that when you throw it in the ground, it creates a blue smoke cloud, and if you or your teammates step into that smoke cloud, you will temporarily gain stealth. And yeah, it's pretty helpful because you know, stealth is gonna turn you invisible on the radar, so you can basically have your whole team have temporary stealth and sneak up on the enemy team, or maybe you can hide your numbers. There's a few different things you can probably do with this, but yeah, overall it's a pretty nice sub-weapon to have. Unfortunately, I kind of forget that I have it on this suit sometimes, because sometimes I focus way more on trying to get range damage in, so I kind of forget I have the grenade at times, but when I do, I usually try to use it around teammates, just so, you know, everyone gets the effect, make the most out of it, and, yeah, pretty nice overall. And before I continue on to the next things I have here to say about this suit, yeah, we're nearing the end of the match here, last 10 seconds, and we're in the lead. I'm gonna try to see what I can do about this. Okay, get a kick in, and as you can see, yeah, that kick did some pretty hefty damage, but, yep, timeout mission over for this first match here, so let's see how we did here with my first match in the heavy equipment Jegan here. Mission completed, we got good works going around, and did get top in individual. Looks like I'm gonna send maybe a few praises? No, maybe? Okay, yep, nope. Okay, gonna praise the Espada, and the enemy Alex. And yeah, first place overall with 4 kills and 2 losses for this first match here. Not too bad, and yep. Next match here is going to be that rated match on Supply Depot. And going to continue off here with the skills. You did see I have dodge roll, so that is, you have a lot of standard general skills. You also have some more support styled skills here, and well, yeah, the suit is a bit more like a support general, almost a general support. Yeah, it's a general that feels like a support, basically, but the 2 main skills here that I want to focus on is Precision Ranged, and this is kind of like a version of a skill we've already seen with the Convoy Jegan. What this skill does is that when you hit somebody in the back of their suit, that damage will be added to the enemy suit. It will be like translated to head, leg, and if in space, back damage. And yeah, it's there, I guess. I really don't find myself attacking enemies from the back too much, so I really don't know the full effects of this skill. It's cool that it has it, but I don't know if it's really going to do too much. And hey, gonna get another counter off on that Gazelle growl there, but yeah, it's an alright skill. It means I'm not complaining that it has it, but at the same time, yeah, it really doesn't feel like I use it a whole lot, unfortunately. Yeah, if you are, I guess if, if you topple somebody over on their back and you shoot them, like, or you topple somebody and they land on their stomach and you hit their back, I mean, yeah, I guess there it could have its use, and if they get up, maybe you can break their legs and they won't be able to escape you, so, but that just seems like it's a very situational thing there, so, yeah, I don't know if it's something that's gonna be too effective on this suit. Unlike the next skill that we have here, and that is Pursuit Range Aux Program, and this is a returning skill from the mass production Double Zeta. And what this skill does is that when an enemy is toppled, you do more range damage to them by 15%. So any of your range weapons that you use, be it any of your beam weapons, the Vulcans, or the napalm, yeah, you do more damage to them if they're toppled. Like just on the ground, toppled, and yeah, this is a very nice skill to have, especially for a range-based suit like this. That's why for my build, I did increase the range damage a bit, just so I can make the most out of it and try to really just try to make sure I can do as much range damage as I can to an enemy. This is very helpful if you have a teammate helping you, because, yeah, if you have a teammate who gets the downswing off first, and you ready your napalm, you can fire it, and I think get the full napalm off before the enemy gets up, so, yeah, if you pair this with your allies, it can be a very, very devastating skill, so, very good thing to have there, and, paired with the kick that you have, yeah, you can really set up a few things with this. So that is probably one of the, I think, the better of the two skills that this suit has. I don't think the other one that does increase damage or does damage to the limbs by hitting the back, I don't think is going to be the most effective thing in the world. Because, again, I have not really seen the effects of that one take place, but it's there, so maybe I need to try to try to experiment with it a bit more. That's probably why they gave this suit the smoke grenade too, just so you can kind of sneak up behind the enemies and get a few shots off from behind. So it might be something I have to experiment with a bit more to see the full effects of. But for now, yeah, I just feel like it's just kind of a there skill. Like you have it, you might make use of it, but for the most part, yeah, it's really just kind of there, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's really everything I have to say about the Jegan heavy equipment type. And again, it's been a pretty nice suit to play. I have been enjoying it, but I mean, I really do enjoy finally having a new suit to play, because I have not gotten the banner suit since Despada, so just having something new to play has been very nice indeed. But I mean, realistically, I just have been really enjoying this suit. It's been a joy to play, and I do think it's really nice. Again, it's pretty standard, and I don't think a lot of people are going to go for this because, well, anniversary's coming up, and if this was a half pull, I'd say maybe go and get it, but they only have a 30, full pull for it, so, if you do want this suit, if you think it's something you'll like to play, and you think you can do well with it, then yeah, I'd say pull for it, but if you're trying to save for, like, anniversary and whatnot, might be better that you just kind of save your tokens, because I think anniversary might be next week, so, yeah, unless you really like this suit, or you think it's something you're going to enjoy, it might be better skipping. I mean, I know, some people might have the tokens to spare for it, but, so, someone who's free to play like me, I don't really have the tokens to really try to get banners all the time, so I usually try to make sure I have enough tokens each time, but I think this suit's pretty fun. I think it was worth the tokens that I did spend for it, so yeah, I'll probably end up using this a bit more. I'm surprised that rocket from that enemy pilot missed me there, but yeah, I think overall, pretty nice suit, but yeah, might be worth the skip for some people, but yeah, that's really all I have to say here. If I had to give it a rating, maybe like out of 10, maybe like a 7 or 8. out of 10. I think it might be the rating I'd give this suit. Pretty nice overall. And yeah, if I can get back to my suit, if my teammates stop hitting me with missiles, but yeah, the enemy pilot was already dead, but I guess the Proto-Stark really wanted to make sure, so yeah, finally going to be able to get back to my suit here, but nearing the last minute 30 here, and I'm going to see what we can do here with the heavy equipment type Jegan here. Looks like there's some enemies over to this side. Our team is all over here. We do have some in the yellow, so do have to be careful there. Looks like there is something I'm hitting. Actually, it looks like somebody finished off whatever that suit was. Tried to hit him with the napalm, but I couldn't get over there in time. I guess I should mention, yeah, napalms do kind of move slow, so kind of want to plan your shots with that instead of firing it willy-nilly like I've probably done a few times in these matches. So one of the things I do need to improve on is better aiming the napalm, but yeah, I think overall pretty good suit. Should also mention too, just some cons, or at least the biggest con I think this suit has is you have pretty good beam and ballistic defense, but you have pretty low melee, so suits with good melee can eat you up like the most recent Gyarados Kai, so yeah, I would say watch out for that. You might be able to build this for slightly better melee. I know I put like the level 2 part on it, but I really try to focus more on my beam and ballistic defense as well as my range power, so you might be able to do some builds with this, but as it stands, yeah, definitely watch out for melee. And I think now that is everything I really have to say about this suit. And timeout mission over for the second match here. Let's see how we did this time for rated. And mission completed. And did get top assist and top damage, and got a praise from the Proto-Stark. Gonna play some of my teammates there, and second place overall, 2-2 this match. Yeah, pretty good. And yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about the suit. It is pretty good. Have had consistently done well with it so far. Mainly I've gotten high scores even if I've lost matches, so that is a pretty good sign going for this suit forward. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this video here. If I had to summarize it, yeah, it's standard. It's your standard general again, aside from those 2 skills it has and having the napalm nades and the smoke bomb. Yeah, it's a pretty standard general, and you don't have to play it like you know, topple enemies over, get the extra damage. You can play it like a pretty standard general, and it can do everything that's, well, a general can do. Or a general support in this case. It is, yeah, much more like a support. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video here, or these videos here, clips. Yeah. Comment down below what you think about the Jegan heavy equipment type. Remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And with that, I will see you all in the next one. Later.